Oh, I'm sorry. Did I not get up here fast enough for all of your claps? Thank you. As the beginning of my shamelessness. I want to thank you guys for being here tonight. I know you're performing, you're excellent, and just sharing this moment with me. I really appreciate it. It's a very big moment for me, and it's a big moment for you because you get to watch me, and it's good. And I've wanted to be a stand-up comedian ever since I was 13, and it's nice. It's a special moment. It's a good night. And it's kind of I want to just acknowledge something about this moment. It feels a little surreal. About 3 years ago, in June of 2019, I was about to produce the first play I ever wrote, called The Scar Lounge. And I wrote it with my collaborator, Sam Nagley, who is not here right now, so he's dead to me. And we were gearing up for production, and I come to this bar. I used to live down the street on Lincoln and Flatbush, right above the UPS store. And I was at this bar. I was in a relationship at the time, and I was here about 10 minutes before I met up with my girlfriend at the time back at my place, and she broke up with me. And I had gotten my heart broken for the first time in just a really deep way. And, now things are really good. I'm in a new relationship and things are going very well. I'm about to producing and starring in my third play in July. And I'm here doing this set. And it's just a surreal moment. It's almost like that Talking Heads once in a lifetime moment. You're like, wow, how did I, get here? How did I get here? And so I figured I'd let you know about me. And that's, that my journey started in Arizona. I grew up in Arizona, which at the time I was growing up there was actually the 49th state in the nation in terms of education. Yeah, so we were right in the middle. And top 50. And I went to school. When I go to school, I went to school on a yellow school bus, which, let's be honest, there hasn't been a new one of those since like 1972. Yeah. They're all the same shitty yellow bus. I don't know if any of you grew up on them. If they do make new ones, they must purposefully make them fucked up at the factory. I imagine the manager there is just always losing his mind. He's like, come on, Dave, come on. These fucking buses are going out tomorrow, man. Oh, God, look at this. Look at this. Look at these seats. There's not a knife mark in them or anything, man. You got to gash it and cover it with shitty electrical tape. Let's go. Got fucking 24 hours here, man. What the hell are you doing? Look, hey, are these windows open? Hey, you got to jam them, all right? Make them weirdly half close. That way the kids will either be way too hot or way too cold. Let's go. What's with these floors? My feet aren't sticking to these floors. Hey, can we throw around some fucking Jolly Ranchers, some retainers on this floor? Hey, can someone get semen from a kid's first hand job on these floors? God damn it. Fucking professionals here. Let's go out tomorrow. I grew up in, more specifically, I grew up in Yuma, Arizona, which is a town on the Mexican border. And I want to let you know a little bit about Yuma. You probably don't know a lot about it. Yuma has a lot of accolades. Second highest teenage pregnancy rate in the nation. Second highest unemployment rate. I know, when will we ever be first? And it's also, you might know it, because it was home to the Yuma Territorial Prison, which is the worst prison in the Old West. Because it's 115 degrees in Yuma, 5 months out of the year, and there was no air conditioning back then. And they even made a movie called 310 to Yuma, which everybody seems to shout at me whenever I tell them I'm from Yuma. If you don't know, this is a movie, it's an old Western, it's about the baddest criminal in the Old West, the worst outlaw. The authorities nab him, and they're trying to put him on the 310 train to the Yuma Territorial Prison, and he tries everything he can to escape. So that's a movie about a murderer whose biggest fear is going to my hometown. So I'm not like somebody who comes from the suburbs, moves to the city, and they just pout and they go, oh, you know, man, God, my town, man, they didn't understand me. They're a bunch of conformists out in the suburbs. Man, my town was like a prison. My town was literally a prison, all right? They made a fucking movie about it and then a remake with Christian Bale. They want everybody to know. And you know, Yuma is, you know, there is a lot of things you can do out there. It's not all bad. You can hunt rattlesnakes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you go to the desert and shoot watermelons. It's a real thing. You can drink and drive. I mean, you can do that anywhere, but in Yuma, let's be honest, that's the place to learn. All right? I mean, I grew up in the desert where the stakes were a lot lower, you know? You couldn't hit anything out there besides a cactus. Well, at least that's what I told myself it was. I mean, it could have been a guy going like, no, stop! I just kept driving through that, you know? Went home and I didn't watch the news for a little bit, but... Now, to be fair, look, if that guy didn't want to get run over, he shouldn't have been standing like that in his living room. Once my 18-year bid at Yuma came to an end, I knew I wanted to go out and pursue entertainment. I knew I wanted to be, like I said, a comedian, and I thought the best way to go about that is I would move to Los Angeles. I moved to Los Angeles and I went to film school. I got a degree in screenwriting, which is a diploma that should come with a Starbucks gift card, honestly. Honestly, I know a lot about movies, and so I'm just going to tell you, I'm the worst person to see a movie with. That's what that qualifies me to be. My friends will come up to me and be like, Clayton, you want to go see The Batman? And I'm like, all right, listen, The Batman's not a real fucking movie, okay? It's just a bunch of bullshit. It's just a bunch of, they do the same fucking comic book shit over and over again. Doesn't fucking matter. You want to see a real fucking movie? All right, it's right here. It's Andrei Rublev, okay? This is a movie. Now, this is a movie about a painter in the 10th century, all right? It's in black and white. It's completely in Russian. Where are you going? Wait. How come nobody wants to watch movies with me? How come I don't have friends? I don't know. I don't like the Hollywood model. I don't like the, you know, that formulaic Hollywood model. It's just, it's, right? It's the same thing over and over again. And it's all these like happy, cheery endings and shit. Do you know, this is a secret, maybe you might know this, but like, in Hollywood, they film multiple endings to movies, and then they present those endings to test audiences. And based on how the audience responds, they will change the ending of the movie. So a lot of famous movies originally had different endings. Here's a famous example, Casablanca. Great movie, right? And famous ending when she leaves on the plane, Humphrey Bogart's like, here's looking at you, kid, and walks away and he says, Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. But that's not how it ended in the original movie. Oh, in the original cut of that movie, at that moment, Humphrey Bogart, he actually took out a gun and he killed himself. But the audience didn't like it. They were like, this does not rev us up to fight the Nazis at all. This is really a weird turn. So I changed it to that. Here's another one. You guys probably know this movie. It's a Wonderful Life. Right? The holiday classic? Everybody watch it every Christmas. I watch it and I cry and everything. But that's just true. But, you know, famous ending, right? Everybody gets together, whole town gets together, and they save the savings and loan. And Jimmy Stewart's there, and his daughter says, Daddy, every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. That's not how it ended in the original movie. No, in the original movie, at that moment, Jimmy Stewart, he actually took out a gun and he killed himself. But the audience is like, this is like the opposite of what the movie was about. If he was going to kill himself, why didn't he just do it at the beginning and jump off the bridge? Why'd we go on this whole journey? So he changed that, you know? Here's another famous example, Spartacus. Everybody remember Spartacus, right? They had the opportunity to sell out Spartacus at the end. Yeah. One by one they say, I'm Spartacus. They'd rather die free than live enslaved. And that's powerful, but that is not how it ended in the original movie. No. No, the original ending to that movie. At that moment, Spartacus, he took out a gun and he killed himself. The audience is like, well, they didn't even have guns back then. So, Deus Ex Machina if I've ever seen one. Do better, Kubrick. You guys remember the Shawshank Redemption? Yeah. Where they run and they meet each other on the beach? Yeah. Well, in the original ending of that movie, at that moment, Morgan Freeman, he took out a gun and he killed himself. And it was infinitely less rewatchable on TNT. That was the main note. I got done with film school. I didn't really like living in Los Angeles, and I moved to New York about 7 years ago, and pursued doing comedy and everything. And when I first moved to New York, I did the obligatory white artist thing, and I moved to Brooklyn. And it was a very, I lived in a very gentrified part of Brooklyn, or a part that was rapidly being gentrified. And, you know, I had this fantasy in my head that I would stick around in the neighborhood and see it through every cycle of gentrification until it came full circle and I was the old guy in the neighborhood talking about how things used to be. You know, I'd just be the old dude walking around like, oh, this neighborhood's changed, it's changed, let me tell you. Not the same. See that laundromat? Wasn't always a laundromat. That used to be a coffee shop that was at one time a laundromat. Yeah. Yeah, R.I.P. Irvs. You know, it was just, you could get a great craft beer there. This neighborhood has changed. Oh, it's changed. That liquor store wasn't always a liquor store. That used to be the best Thai Mexican fusion restaurant this side of the Mississippi. Now you could get a pad Thai burrito there for $13. It was a wonderful hangover cure. All right? Yeah, you could get guacamole on it too for $12 extra. I know, only $12? It was a steal back then. It's changed. It's not the same. It's not the same. That Puerto Rican guy? He used to be a white couple with a dog. Yeah, they used to all wear matching sweaters too. Even the dog. Yeah, the dog had an Instagram account. 38,000 followers. He was like a dog influencer. I followed him. He sold organic, free trade dog food. Oh, that dog ate better than 70% of the people on this planet. a damn shame how things change, isn't it? This neighborhood used to be filled with a bunch of expensive and impractical shit, and now it's just families again, and it disgusts me. Oh man, one of the things I do like about New York is just how fucking theatrical people are here. And it's like, because, Broadway's here, people are just like very theatrical, they're larger than life, they have to fucking yell and complain all the time. About 30% of the complaints are about the mayor, at least. I don't know, man. Look, I despise Eric Adams for a multitude of policy reasons. But New Yorkers just blame the mayor for everything. It doesn't matter if it has anything to do with him or not. It doesn't matter. They just go, fucking mayor. I'm in fucking traffic. Fucking mayor put traffic right here. Fucking mayor, he also keyed my car. Fucking mayor keyed my car. And it got me stuck in traffic. Fucking mayor. Yo, the fucking mayor gave my Uncle Vinny cancer. My Uncle Vinny got prostate cancer because of the fucking mayor. You believe this? Yo, the goddamn mayor keeps beating my wife. Yo, that's not cool. I told the mayor he better stop doing that shit, because she told the mayor, she said, if you fucking lay your hands on me one more time, I'm gonna take the kids, and I'm gonna go to my sister's, and you're never gonna see your fucking children again. But the thing is, the mayor grew up in a household where that's what his dad did to his mom, and then also to him. So that's how he learned to be a man. And then he's afraid that if he shows love, or any sort of vulnerability, will be perceived as weakness. And he just doesn't know, if people are weak, they're gonna take everything from him, and the people he loves are gonna go away. But the more he uses his fists, the more he pushes people away. I fucking hate the mayor. I fucking hate the mayor. Goddamn man, it's making me fucking cry right now. Goddamn it. Fuck. I think the main mayor to hate, from what I've ascertained, from the fucking weird characters I've met here, is Giuliani. In fact, you can tell if you're talking to a real New Yorker if they say the phrase "fucking Giuliani." If they say, "I don't like Rudy Giuliani," you're like, "You moved here." But if they're like, "fucking Giuliani," you're like, "Okay, this guy's fucking from New York." I used to work with this guy named L, who was the most scary fucking person I ever met. This old Brooklyn gangster. And we worked at a theater together. That's not relevant, but he used to just rant and rave all the time about Giuliani. He'd just be like, "Hey, fucking Giuliani, yo, fucking Giuliani. He ruined this shit." I remember back in the day, you could toss motherfuckers off rooftops. And I was like, whoa, you could never do that. That wasn't a law change. It's not like on January 1st, 1994, murder suddenly became illegal. The city council didn't just make an announcement, all right, listen up, new city ordinance, yo, you can't be pushing motherfuckers off rooftops anymore. If you pushed a motherfucker off a rooftop in the past, then no ex post facto. But if you do it now, that's a $10,000 fine. I know old New York was insane, but was there just an epidemic of people being tossed from the roof? Yeah, I can only imagine what that was like. Yo, did you toss that motherfucker off the roof? What the fuck, man? I was walking, these are new shoes. Man, you almost got blood splatter on my new fucking shoes. Fuck it. Yo, is that the fucking mayor up there? Yo, mayor, quit throwing people off rooftops, man. God damn, I fucking hate Koch, man. Koch.
That was a long-ass whistle.
It was a very long whistle, and I appreciate it. Fell in love in New York, too, for the first time. Fell in love in New York, and I'll regale you with the story. You know, I was on the apps for a long time, and it just never seemed to work, and it might have been because I was on every app, I just spread myself too thin. You know, I was just, at the time I was on Tinder and Hinge and Oedipus. That's where they match you with your own mother. Some of you guys might not know that app, but I do. And I met, I was at, January 2018, I was at B&H Dairy on St. Mark's and 2nd Ave, and I see a woman writing in her journal at the other end of the counter, and I'm towards the register writing in mine, and she comes over to pay, and I'm like, I'm not going to let this opportunity pass up. So I go, hey, I saw you writing in your journal. What were you writing? She said, oh, you know, I'm writing New Year's resolutions, and it's good to set intentions for the year and talk about that for a little bit. She looks at me and my journal, and she goes, what are you writing? And I said, jokes. And she said, you're a comedian? Yeah. What are your jokes about? People's New Year's resolutions. Top 5 line in my lifetime. That'll be I'm always proud of that one. Didn't even have to think of it. So she leaves. Didn't even introduce myself really. And she comes running back in 2 minutes later, gives me a folded piece of paper and says, oh, I'm Margot, by the way, and here's my number. I used to live here, but I'm only in town for a few days. You know, reach out. So I did, and we hung out a few times, and we just had a lot of things in common. We just, a lot of commonalities in growing up, and we actually shared the same birthday. She was 6 years older than me on the dot. March 15th, we shared March 15th birthday, which the Ides of March, which should have been my first inclination that I would get stabbed in the heart, really. Head 2, Margot. And she, it turned out she lived in San Francisco. So one day I took the leap and I went there and hung out, and we started a long distance relationship. Me being here, her in San Francisco. And people would ask me, Clayton, why are you dating a woman that lives in San Francisco? And I would tell them, well, because I want to date a woman but still feel gay. And plus, let's be honest, when the sex is that good, you'll build miles on Delta. To compliment myself, she flew United to get some of this, so she was risking an ass beating every time. You know, one of the patented United fucking smackdowns where they pull you out of your seat and boom. And we were together a while, and after about a year and a half or so, it didn't matter how much we were in love. It's just there was no part of my life that was going to go to San Francisco. There was no part of her life that was going to come here. And it turns out that's a bad thing for a relationship. I have no idea. And she was in a much more professional place. She was older, and she was eventually going to want to look to have children, and I would deflect and say, well, I'm a child, just keep dating me, you know? Like a fucking starter kit, really. And she decided in June 2019, it was time to end things. And that's, I was here and I went over and I got my heart broken and I just couldn't understand it. And about a week later, I was doing some prop shopping for my Play the Cigar Lounge. And the main thing on my agenda was to obtain a tricycle. And I get this tricycle and I'm rolling it back. I'm all excited. I'm like, yeah, I fucking got it. And then it dawned on me in what alcoholics call a moment of clarity. And I was like, oh, this is why. Now I get it. Now I get why she left me. But it's just hard when you get your heart broken, you know, because your heart is like a house. You know, it's your own little house inside of you. And one day you show somebody in, and you go, this is my heart, and here it is, and here's all the stuff. And they go, oh my God, this is so pretty. I mean, I don't like those posters, but everything else is great. And they get to this door in the back, and they go, oh my God, do you see this door? Did you know that beyond this door, there's a whole other half of the house? And you go, wow. And you walk in, and sure enough, there it is. Your house is now twice as big, and you're like, wow, can you help me fill it out? They go, yeah, I'd love to. And then one day that person leaves, and they take all their shit with them. And so you're just left in this house that had all the same stuff before, but now is twice as big. And you're alone in it. And you just think, that fucking bitch, if she had never even opened this goddamn door, I wouldn't have even fucking known this was here. But now she opened it, now I know how big my fucking heart is. Now I know how fucking empty I am inside. And so you drive yourself insane, and you don't want to hear it anymore. And you just try to seal that door shut as hard as you can and try to forget. I mean, you sneak in there every now and again to masturbate. But, I mean, if you're going to get your heart broken, you might as well come. And then one day, someone new comes into your life, and things are going well, and they walk around and they go, oh my God, this is such a beautiful heart house. I really love those posters. And you're like, yeah, they fucking are good posters. And then they get to the back and they go, oh my God, do you see this door? Did you know that beyond this door? And you go, yeah, there's a whole other fucking half of the house in there. Get the fuck out of here. You're just gonna fill shit in it and make me feel more empty than before. And then once you get past that bitterness, you realize that it was never anyone else's room but your own to begin with. And that it's your house, and that belongs to you. And you learn to appreciate that at one time it looked like that. And you want to fill it up and make it look different again. Because that's a gift you give yourself. And you know, the experience of heartbreak makes you can make you a more empathetic person, a much more understanding person, a much more compassionate person, and just a better human being on this planet. And look, if you don't like this ending, you should have seen the original one. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Please tip Javi, your bartender. Some say 20%, I say 200%. Thank you guys very much. You'll find me at KJ Smith on Instagram.